Take Your Life Back with Grit and Grace. And I am here with.
I'm Leanne, and I am the grit and grace part of this. We rehearsed this. I promise. We totally did.
I think every week I just end up fumbling all over. I'm Coach Jen with Take Your Life Back.
And I'm Coach Leanne with Grit and Grace.
There we have it. There we go. So, this week we have been talking about energy circle and how energy is contagious and the energy that is around you consumes you. And so, I think, especially this week, given everything that's going on, it's a really good week to ask how everyone's energy is.
Well, I have been in a funk for the last week and this week. Being around the news has not helped. If you are one of those gracious souls that get to function outside of that world, great. Put your fingers in your ears. Because with the fall of Kabul and all of the images that you see coming out of the Middle East and Afghanistan, it's kind of turned my blood cold. It's given me a real dark, funky energy. Pull your fingers out of your ears now. And because of that, my energy has been super dark and low. And I want to sleep a lot. And then when I do sleep at night, I don't sleep a lot. So it's just one of those things that as I have been moving through this last week, I have been struggling a little bit, trying to get some centering. And one of our mutual friends told me on Sunday that she said, you were dark when I met you. And I promise that wasn't during Halloween, but she did say that I was dark when I met her. And I'm pretty much back to where I was, which to me is terrifying. So I have this week, like this morning, I meditated. It helped. It was only 5 minutes, so obviously that needs to be longer. But I've meditated. Today, I decided to hop off Facebook because social media is the devil, y'all. It is awful when you are in a bad place because it just continually sucks you down. It's like being caught in a riptide. And I have a presentation a week from today, and I wrote part of that presentation today, which, oh, by the way, was all about energy around money. But I decided that I needed to sit and have that time with my internal self to kind of get me going again. Also, I sat down and I wrote some clarity out around my business because I want to get up and rolling, and I want to be wealthy. I want to retire my husband. I want to buy a horse. I want to do some things. Traveling domestically is going to be my thing for the next couple of years, I think. And yeah, I'm trying to refocus and get myself back to the place where I was, where it was just, okay, let's do this. We're all happy. I'm not there yet. Not there yet.
Yeah. I know people say this and we hear it, but it's tough to do, but you can't necessarily blame yourself, right? Because for one, so as humans, we're habitual. We're absolutely habitual. And we tend to go back to the places of comfort. So for someone to bring to light for you, hey, a couple years ago when we met, we're in a dark place. You had this dark energy around you, and I'm seeing it again. It kind of just shows, what do we do as humans? We experience something, or in this case, I think what's happening for a lot of people, given what's going on in Afghanistan, it's triggered old memories and trauma and experiences. And as humans, we want to go back to that comfort zone of what we know. Well, if we stayed, which so many of us did, stayed glued to our televisions in a negative, terrorized mindset for so long that became a sense of comfort. We've just been exposed to this again. And what do? We need that sense of comfort again. We suddenly go spiraling back down that dark hole. And here we are sitting in this dark energy circle.
And it's really interesting that you say that. I have been thinking of, now, I was not born when Saigon fell in Vietnam. That's my parents' era.
Right.
I was but a glimmer in eyes at that point, right? But some of the footage reminds me of that Saigon time. And it's interesting that you said that terror mindset, because when 9/11 happened, everybody has a 9/11 story. Mine was that I worked at General Motors in the logistics department. And we were all gathered around TVs because we all had parts in the sky.
Yeah.
We had parts on those planes. We had to keep those plants running and keep people at work and work with our suppliers and all this other stuff. So it's interesting that you talk about the trauma, because that was not a trauma for a morning for me. That was weeks and months. And so, yes, it makes total sense that I am glued to clips. Now clips, because, 20 years ago it was, oh my God, I'm watching cable news all day, right? Now it's clips. It's 3 to 5 minute clips, but you're still seeing the same
clips, honestly.
Humanity, right? The awfulness that is surrounding humanity. People falling from a giant, and if you've ever seen one of those C-17 airplanes, they're friggin' huge. They're like skyscrapers on their side.
Yeah.
People falling from that because they want out. And, people falling from the World Trade Center. Yeah, you're right. It brought it. Maybe that's why I'm like, oh, this is terrible. I hate the world. I don't, but maybe that is why I'm stuck to it.
It's trauma, and it's double trauma. So let's think about what's been going on in the past couple of weeks, right? So it's like 2020 said, hey guys, you miss me? Hey, you miss me?
No.
Oh, you missed me. I'm 2020 again. Right? It's trying to rear its ugly head, and there's questions of, oh my God, is there going to be another lockdown? What is this? So now we're now debating all these things again. What does this look like? Like, we are reliving so many traumas just compressed into the last 2 weeks. It's overwhelming.
And quite honestly, I didn't participate in the first lockdown. Just
right.
There. So very unlikely that I'll participate in the second lockdown. Plus, I got a vacation plan, and as well as I do, I will walk my ass to that vacation before I give that up.
Yeah.
And we'll meet like midway, and we'll continue walking.
But even if you didn't, quote unquote, participate, the impact was still significant in your life because everything around you changed.
Oh, yes. My husband came home and is now a work from home permanent employee, or whatever they do. It was nice the first couple of months. I wanted him, the fear factor was so high, I wanted him close.
Sure.
But now I'm like, go back to work, because, you're on my nerves. This house ain't big enough for the two of us. Go take your ivermectin, go do your thing, take your elderberry and your zinc and get out of my house. So yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So see, it still was traumatic for you whether you quote unquote participated or not. There was a fear. It's truly the definition almost of terrorism, right? The goal of terrorism is to instill fear,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so literally we're reliving in so many different aspects that fear that we experienced, the fear that there was in 2020. We're afraid of having to experience all that change all over again. And then we've got this fear coming back with Afghanistan, literally compressed in the last 2 or 3 weeks, just so much.
Yeah.
um
And honestly, part of that fear is also what different habits, because to say that I did not participate, I really didn't. I still went to my trainer. I still did the grocery shopping. I still did all that stuff. And no, I never wore a mask. Um, and I lived to tell the tale. I'm just throwing that out there. But
right.
one of the things that I did start doing that I hadn't done, I have always been an avid shooter. I have always had, well, not always, but for, you know, since I moved to South Carolina, around that time, I've always had my carry permit, but I never carried. I started carrying. And that to me is kind of traumatic in itself because suddenly I didn't feel safe.
Mm. Yeah.
And then, of course, my jeans were slipping down off my butt because I had lost weight. But that's a different trauma for a different day.
Yeah, no, but so no matter how you look at it, it's in no matter what, 2020 created fear within all of us. It doesn't matter what aspect you look like. Maybe you were immunocompromised, maybe you had a close family member who was, maybe you had an elderly family member who you couldn't see. It doesn't matter. There was fear instilled in all of us in some fashion. Um and and then here we are again now in 2021, and all of this is being brought back up when we thought we just left that. And oh yeah, let's redo Afghanistan.
Right. And, one of the things about, one of the things about that is you hear it from both sides. Pardon me. It's trying to be fall in Virginia. So my voice is going, but you can't help but hear both sides yelling and screaming at each other. And you have to shut off the social media. It's the devil. I mean, like I'll admit, because I sometimes have a hard time sleeping, and my couch is the most comfy thing on the planet. I'll come down and sleep on my couch, and I will put on like a rainstorm on YouTube to calm my head. And it's like it's the only thing that calms my head. And I just and that has been in the last 2 weeks. So something's kicked up trauma wise. And I got to tell you guys, I have had lots of trauma in my life. I mean, I'm no cupcake. I had 5 reconstructive plastic surgeries on my face before I was 20, from about age 6 to about 20. And, so I'm familiar with it. But this is a different kind of mess with your. So I really rely on my energy circle, which is my excuse me, which is my accountability group who meets on Sundays, and Jen and I are both in that. I really rely on that group of women to, kind of have a goofy time with and have fun with, and really really get in touch with the friendship that we have built over the last year and a half, 2 years, something,
Yeah.
and just really take the time to enjoy each other's company. So I find it very soothing for to be in that energy circle. Um, but the rest of it, Bronx cheer, baby.
Yeah. So it's funny that you say that. I almost think so I don't know when it was. It was sometime during 2020. I really started focusing on training my social media. In other words, I unfollowed a ton of people because I was just like, if you're posting about all this crap, I'm unfollowing you. Show me puppy dogs, show me rainbows. I can't. Um and so I cleaned up my feed in my different social media platforms. I also, because and I don't care what settings you have in your social media. I do not care that you've allegedly blocked it from all your other apps. Bullshit. You need to talk into your phone positive things that have nothing to do with current events. You need to search in Google positive things, um, coaching, positive energy, meditations. What search. Just come up with those keywords though, and do several different searches in different Google windows, Chrome or whatever. You will find what will start to happen. Google will pick up on that. You'll see different ads in your Gmail. You'll see different ads in your Facebook, and they're going to pertain to the searches you just did. Go to Facebook, find some groups of positive energy. I joined a group that's like something like positive accountability or something like that. Once I joined that group, it started suggesting all these other positivity groups. And and then I would Google things about fitness. And so when you talk about how evil social media, I found out, I mean,
Look,
I'll
I'm
be
taking
honest.
notes again. You know you're saying something profound when I start taking notes.
The only reason why I have seen anything about Afghanistan was because you've commented on a couple of things and it will show you what pages your friends have commented on.
Oh, whoopsie.
Well, but that's a perfect example. So during COVID, I had those friends who were just commenting on every little thing about COVID and I unfollowed them. And once I unfollowed them, I no longer saw those comments on pages I didn't even belong to. See, that's the evil thing. They'll comment on a page I am in no way, shape, or form associated with, but all of a sudden that shows up in my feed because they commented. And I'm like, I don't even want to see that. You can train your
Oh, that must
social
be why
media.
I'm still seeing Olympics stuff,
Right.
because people are commenting on the Olympics.
Exactly. So every time I would like an Olympics photo or something, it probably then would show up in your feed because we do comment on each. And then that's the other thing. The more we comment on each other's posts, of course, I'm going to see more of what you are doing, and you're going to see more of what I'm doing because that's how that works. So it's so important that your energy circle and the energy that you're allowing into your circle is really mindful and intentional with what you're doing. Um, because your friends are going to see that. And I don't mean that in a negative way. In other words, you should never be like, well, oh gosh, I don't want to like this picture because one of my friends might see that I liked this picture. Don't live your life like that. That's bullshit.
Oh, I never do.
But I'm just saying that to help you, if you're looking to completely rearrange what you see and hear and everything else on a regular basis every time you pick up your phone, because I swear we're attached to these damn things, or when you open up your laptop or whatever, even your freaking Netflix, Hulu, whatever, the suggestions on there, I kid you not, it's all related to your searches on the web. All of it.
Hmm.
So be very cognizant and mindful of that. You can retrain everything that you see and do via the internet, if you put out that intent.
Well, that's what I'm going to start doing because, as you have said, and I used to be, before the ugliness of, let's impeach the former president every 5 minutes. It used to be a political wonk. I
Mhm.
love that stuff. I loved it. And then it just got ugly and evil and dark. And
You know,
I I stopped. I couldn't anymore. It was just so heavy. So so I stopped. Now I still have connections to some of those pages because I'm a wonk. But I yeah, I gotta back away from that even more. I thought I had backed away from it quite a bit, and I have. Week, to your point, I have unfollowed a group that I had been a part of for years because they just won't shut up about all of the negative crap going on in this world. And I'm like, no, I'm done with you. Stop. Just stop.
and then the other thing, because I'm like you, so I mean, I in high school, I was like this political science major. I was on the debate team. I lettered in debate. I was totally into it. I was an intern for a criminal judge. I was like so freaking into it. So the beauty of it is, if you work towards it, you don't even necessarily have to leave those groups, because there's a part of me that's hopeful. Maybe I'm just dreaming
Me too.
that at some point we'll get back to where we can just have a good old political debate, and it doesn't have to be this horrible bashing, hiding behind my computer screen BS, right?
Right.
And so you truly, it's so funny to me, because and let me I'll use that positivity group that I had joined. I need to figure out the name of it, and I'll share it with you guys. But it's, the more that I go into that group, the more that group shows up. I never see the other groups. I'm still a part of the other groups. I just never see them. Oh, and I joined all the national park groups. I joined um I joined a couple travel groups. I joined a hiking group. I mean, I just went like any of those positive things that interest a glamping group.
Dude, glamping to me is showing up without reservations. So,
Yeah, but it's funny because the more that I go into those groups and I scroll and I like and I interact, that's what I see. Period. So
yeah.
I didn't even necessarily have to leave some of those groups that, like I said, I'm kind of hopeful that maybe someday we can get back to some friendly interaction. Um,
But I hope so.
yeah, but I get to see the things in my feed that I want to see that have nothing to do with the crazy things that are going on right now.
How long did it take you to retrain your social media pages?
Boy, it's not long, I can tell you that, because there was one weekend I joined two camping groups. And I kid you not, that it wasn't but a couple days, within a day or two, the only posts I saw were related to travel, camping. Yeah. I mean, it was like immediate. And
Interesting.
every time I interact, so you and I both belong to a women's finance group. Anytime I even, especially like if I go into a post and I really scroll through the comments, it just keeps showing me that group again. And it's, yeah, just you, it's amazing to me. You don't even need to heavily interact. You don't even have to comment. You just need to really, you need to go into actual posts, review comments, maybe give something a like. Boy, you'll be amazed at what starts appearing. And of course, that's Facebook. But the same holds true for if you're on TikTok.
Oh yeah.
Um, oh gosh, man,
The
TikTok.
only TikToks I see are ones that are reposted or you send me.
Oh my God, that sucker's addicting. But yeah, you end up the algorithm finds out how you're and it'll even figure out how long did you watch because for some content creators they are allowed to create a 3 minute video. So it'll start to figure out what of those videos did you watch the full 3 minutes. If you only watched the first 20 seconds, it's going to assume that content you were not into. So you can train your TikTok, you can train your Facebook. I'm not an Instagram person, so I can't speak to that one.
I'm not either.
Um,
I'm getting more and more in LinkedIn, but LinkedIn does not do that.
no, LinkedIn. I'm just and you know this. I literally just created my LinkedIn profile 2 or 3 weeks ago. That's a whole other ball game. But yeah, I. But again, I'm not seeing anything political on LinkedIn.
I see it every once in a while, but I think you don't because it is a professional site.
Mm,
It is not meant for, the TikTok and the discourse that Facebook seems to get itself into. And even, well, I'll just throw this out there. Even now that Facebook has become more of a they censor things a lot, less of
they
a
do.
platform to freedom to express your opinion. Um, you just don't see that on LinkedIn because LinkedIn is professional. And yeah, LinkedIn is for doing business, finding a job, and I don't know many people who just want to get into the minutia of all that
Mm-mm.
on a site where
No.
it potentially, I mean, it can also very much potentially damage the.
Right.
I'm freezing.
I was gonna say my internet tried to be silly for a minute, but it looks like it's back. Yeah. So
Okay.
there's ways you can fix that. And then to your point, the other part of that is you've really got to be selective and intentional with who you surround yourself with for energy. Part of our accountability group, and I think this is part of why if you're exploring hiring a coach and they offer some sort of mastermind group or a group setting, it might be a good option. If you're very new to coaching, it might be a good option for you, maybe. um, because one of the things that we do in our accountability group isn't just accountability with what we're doing with regards to coaching. It's just accountability of are we leading the life that we're wanting to lead? What are we doing to create an intentional lifestyle for ourselves? How are we, is this the path we're wanting to go down? And we kind of help hold each other accountable. Hey, I thought you weren't wanting to do that anymore, kind of thing. And without that accountability and that those bonds and relationships, it's really tough to protect your energy and stay in a positive place.
And because we are all coaches that are in that accountability group, I think that we tend to see when each other is starting to falter a little bit quicker, um,
Yeah.
and we can address it in a little more, I don't want to say positive, but in very intentional way. There are conversations that we have in that group that I wouldn't have with any of my other friends.
No.
And there are conversations that just, need to happen to keep us on the straight and narrow and No, we actually coach each other through some interesting situations depending on what's coming up. And so that the the story of the saying of you are like the same five people you hang around with, in that case, it's absolutely true, because the four of us come together as like a cohesive unit, and we have this magic within us that just it feeds all of us in different ways. And it's a very helpful group. I think all you know, I think all of us were missing it because we were on vacations and things like that. And we just missed a couple weeks and we're like, hey, wait a minute, we need to get back to this.
Yeah, for real. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we all, I mean, man, I went hard this summer. Hard.
Yeah, you
Like,
did.
I'm not really, I appear as an extrovert. I'm really not. And, but because of 2020, I could kind of set a goal that this summer I was like, I'm doing it all. I'm doing it all. And I'm here to tell
Yeah,
you,
you really have.
holy crap, I've done it all.
Really kind of jealous, actually.
Holy crap. Actually, on an upcoming episode, we do need to speak to that because last spring, it was just after my birthday, so it would have been May. I created a vision board, and after I created it, I put it on my desk kind of right next to my laptop, and it's a massive vision board. It's on a huge bulletin board thing.
Oh,
And I after I created it, I was like, I don't even know that this is really my the vision that I really have. I mean, there was things that I had seen that I liked. I was like, yes, I want to do that. And I threw it on my vision board. And then I got like halfway into the year and I was like, I put all these things on this vision board and I don't really know that it's in total alignment with me. And I was sitting at my desk the other day, about almost 2 weeks ago, and I was staring at that vision board and I realized what I did not, I, I didn't even see it happening. I have done almost every single thing on that vision board. No, you need to see the vision board. I've done almost every single thing.
because I'm looking over at my vision board now, and I not. It's not.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because there's horses and all kinds of things on there, and yeah, I have not. There's I'm like continuing to work out, and I'm squinting because I can't see the dang thing for all the lights. Um, so I mean, there's a couple of horses on there that that hasn't come to fruition yet. Um, yeah, I mean, there's just some things that haven't happened yet. There's American flags on there. We did see the USA in our Nissan earlier, like at the end of May. So I guess that would kind of count. So, and there's words on it like breathe and trust and dream big and things like that I can see.
Oh
Can't
my
see
God. Okay. We're going
lights.
to do an episode about this because I'm telling you now, you have done visualization with that vision board, and I don't know that you're recognizing all that you've done this year.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to do that because I would like to know where. I mean, I saw a lot of money going out. I didn't see a whole lot coming in. Let's put it that way. And things of that nature. And
Sames, girl, sames.
right. And there's this picture that I just absolutely love. So I cut it out and put it on there. I don't know what it means. And it's just a woman standing in the dark, like with a raincoat on. And it's just, I loved it. It was beautiful. So I cut it and put it on there. So
Leanne Bonnell.
Janelle Ingram.
Oh my word. So let's think about this. There's a woman standing there in the dark with a raincoat hood trying to stay out of the dark rain, and you don't see.
Okay, now I see it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, now I see it. But up until then, I didn't see that. I didn't see
It's
that.
there.
Yeah.
That's exactly where you're at.
Well, damn it, I want a horse.
You got to start. So we'll have to do an episode about that. So okay, so sorry, I kind of went off on a tip, but no, that's the kind of energy that you need to be surrounding yourself with. What are you creating in your environment? Because energy is contagious. It's absolutely contagious. You have to create your environment with intent and be mindful of it, in order to really lead the life that you want.
Well, then that means that I have to take some time on Friday, because Friday afternoons I take off, and really revamp my office here, because there's a lot of stuff here that really just needs to move on, because
Right.
I am moving on. Whether
Clear
it,
the clutter.
well, yeah. This desk will never be clutter free because I only have one.
Well,
But I'm looking at my Mary Kay stuff. Now, I love the company and I love the products. I am just not in a space to sell them right now. And I'm not doing parties and I'm not doing any of that stuff. Yet I still have products sitting around this room, and my flip chart is up, and I still have stuff all over this room because this was my studio. And when everything shut down in 2020, I moved in here. And just, I need to start clearing the clutter in here and just move it. I don't want to throw it away, but I'm not keeping it.
no. Well, and even when I say clear the clutter, it doesn't even necessarily mean that your desk is like completely 100% clutter free, right?
Good Lord.
It, it's also to say what is around you that is, a part of the life that you're trying to create. If you're surrounded by a life that you've kind of mentally let go of, it's actually getting in your way of
Yeah.
moving forward with the other parts that you're wanting to really take forth with. Your coaching business. Because you've still got this other business sitting in front of you, and your brain cannot do both.
Yes. You're right. You are 100% right. Yep. Where have you been? I don't know, girl.
Talking out of my butt, honestly. No. So when we say energy, when we say, what is your energy circle? It's not, it's all the things surrounding you. It's your environment, it's the people, it's your news feed, it's all of it. And is it in alignment with the life that you want to live? Because your energy is contagious, and the energy that is around you is contagious as well. And you're going to take that energy in. And if it's conflicting, you're going to be stuck.
Oh, yes. And I am stuck in a big way. And I think that it is, like you said, it's time. It's time to move this stuff out of here and, get unstuck.
Yeah. Yeah, your brain can't, as silly as that sounds, right? Like we would love to think, oh, my brain can totally just take on two businesses. And there are people who run amazing 10 different businesses. But the truth is, where energy, what is it? Where energy goes, or, whatever the saying is, something energy flows, whatever.
I don't know.
Basically, where you're putting your energy is where you're going to get back. And the truth is that nobody can really put all their energy into 10 different businesses, right? And so it's conflicting with the path that you're trying to go down, because it's an old path. It's not the life that you're currently living, but yet it's sitting in front of you, keeping you here. Time to clear the clutter.
Yeah, time to clear the clutter. Time to bake the donuts. Guess I'm just going to have to get some boxes and put some stuff in boxes and move it. out of here. Because the more I hang on to it, the less I am going to achieve.
Right.
And I know that. So yeah. Plus, I need a place to put all these books that are open and flying all over my desk.
The money energy books, which I'm excited to, yeah, I mean, exactly. You got to let that kind of energy in.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, so now I'm excited to clean on Friday, which I'm glad.
Leanne is excited to clean on Friday. Who are you right now?
I scrub toilets now. I hire that out. I just want to get this, and I have been thinking about it for at least the last week. How, I have these vases of roses. I love roses. They're wooden roses. I don't know that I need to have them out, though. You know what I mean? I was doing a video, and all the pink Cadillac stuff that I had behind me, I flipped it around. So I'm getting there, but now I've been pushed there. And yes, y'all can hold me accountable. Next week, I will have significantly less stuff in here.
Yeah.
Because it is time. And every time I go out, I'm just going to hand out all the rest of my Mary Kay magazines and get them the hell out of my house.
Yeah.
It's time.
It is time.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I got to do the same thing. My kiddo just moved away to college this last weekend, and I'm like, I need to, yeah. Sames.
But yours is a little more,
Oh, it's,
yours is a little different.
yeah, it is pretty cluttered though. I've had like all these things just kind of in limbo. Like, well, is this, what? Because I knew this shift was coming, but I didn't know what it was going to look like. So I kind of just threw things wherever because I'm like, well, I don't know. And so yeah. Anyways, it's your brain cannot. Your brain can't do that.
Yeah. My brain is definitely like, yeah, it's time. Although I do like my Mary Kay flip chart. It says, hello, gorgeous. And I look at that every morning.
So that's something to keep.
I might keep that out. I might hang the cowboy hats, but the Skinvigorate Sonic brush box can be thrown away. And, all this other crap can be either used or donated.
Yeah.
So.
Well, all right. I know it is. Well, and allow yourself the time. It might take you more than just Friday to really mentally let go of it.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of stuff in here too that is old and it just needs to be thrown away. Because even if I did decide to pick up my Mary Kay business again, maybe like in 6 months or so when I'm rolling in the coaching world, because that is my focus right now. There's a lot of stuff. I am never going to do another in-person party. Well, never is a long time, but it is highly unlikely that I'm going to do another in-person party because I don't want to, first of all. And second of all, I don't want to. I don't want to pack up all the stuff and drag it all across town. I don't want to have people clump through my home. No. If the godsend of 2020 has been everybody now knows how to use Voxer, Zoom.
That too.
And everybody now understands what a Facebook Live is like. And everybody now understands that I have started playing with producing my own videos.
I saw that.
Because I couldn't figure out how to get subtitles on my Facebook Lives. So I said, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to do it. So I started doing it. And it is very cool. So if 2020 has not taught us anything, it's taught us, look at all this great technology we've got. Let's use it. So I don't have to touch somebody to tell them, make a circle, make a half circle, make a C here, and create your crease. I don't have to be in the room to tell them that. I can be across country and show them.
Right.
So
Right. No, you
So
can coach them. And I think really it's just a matter of a different style of coaching, right? So in the Mary Kay business, you were teaching women how to feel better about themselves via some self-care, some skincare, as well as makeup to feel put together or beautiful or whatever. And so now you get to coach women on how to feel better about themselves and have more confidence in a very different way.
yeah, in
Right.
a simple way. And I still have the Mary Kay part in my coaching program, in so much as, look, cool if you don't like makeup, but if you want to learn how to do this, we can do this. It's really simple and it's quick. And oh, by the way, don't forget to wash your face at night and in the morning. And just washing your hair and letting the shampoo run down your face, that is not washing your face. Things like that, they're still in grit and grace. It's just a matter of, that it is in grit and grace. You can buy whatever product you want. I don't really care. If you ask me, I will always recommend the Mary Kay products.
Nope. Self-care is absolutely part of the process of improving self-confidence, increased energy, 1,000%.
1,000%.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of the equivalent of making abs in the kitchen.
Right.
To me, it is. I mean,
yeah.
Jason's gotten me eating so many freaking salads and growing ears here. I feel them. I'm going to be a bunny rabbit. But yeah, to me, it's just the same thing. You have to love on this to project the confidence out there.
Right.
Since I don't ever know where I am on this camera. So.
Yeah. No, true enough.
Whew.
All right.
You know what? I feel so much better. My heart feels lifted.
Yay! It's contagious, right? You just start talking about positive energy and really talking about doing the things you really want to do that has nothing to do with the stuff. And it's freaking contagious.
Yes. And the reason I mention the heart lift is because when you are in a positive place, it's like your organs all lift up. You're just in a happier space. And good God, I've been looking for this happier space for 2 weeks. Thank you so much, Jen.
Well, good. Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, you hold yourself differently. Your posture changes. Your breathing changes. I mean, they all say, part of bringing a smile to your face is like raising that energy. I mean, it's just a natural, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Okay, so we need to write that down. We need to talk about vision boards and the importance of, not when we're talking about environment. We talk a lot about who you surround yourself with, but I do think some visualization and something like a vision board, and even if you're not big into vision boards, it can be so small as Coach Leanne was describing. Her office is her office is surrounded in her old business, and she's trying to move forward in a new business, and she's stuck because of what her environment looks like. It's just that simple.
And it's also simple like this. I don't know if you can see it, but what is important now? Done is better than perfect, or done is the new perfect. I have these all around the house. I put one in so funny story. My husband bought a Ford Edge, and I have a 2010 Honda. So he's got this 2018 Ford Edge. He hasn't been driving it. It's a brand new vehicle. You think I'm going to let that sit in the driveway? No. So I've been driving it all, since the world shut down. Again, I didn't, I'm the rebel. I didn't participate. I went to see Jason twice a week. I did my thing. Which, let's face it, it's not like I was going shopping or anything, because I hate malls. Anyway, so I put one of these stickies in Eric's truck, and he got in and he goes, "Why is that in my car?" And I said, "First of all, you don't drive anywhere. Second of all, when you do, I will take my sticky out of my car." Oh, that didn't.
Because you're not taking it over.
I was not popular, but you know what? It's still in there, and it's still mine, because I drive the darn thing, and I gas it up and take it for maintenance and all kinds of things. Oh, shoot. It's August. Speaking of which, I have to get my cars inspected. Whoopsie. But anyway, so yeah, it's one of those things. The little sticky notes with a positive phrase on it do amazing things.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, absolutely. I love it. All right. Well, I think that concludes this episode. I hope that you all maybe had some aha moments as we were kind of talking through how we can create that positive energy that we need, because we might be coaches, but we're obviously not perfect human beings, and we experience the same ups and downs that you do, and we experience the same feelings of stuckness, or whatever you want to call it, in life. Those same feelings. The difference being that we are trained in how to help you move past all of that. So, thank you for joining us. Be sure to click and subscribe to Take Your Life Back with Grit and Grace. And until next week, I'm Coach Jen.
And I'm Coach Leanne.
And thanks for joining.